Good afternoon, everybody, or good morning if you are coming from the other side of the ocean. I'm Delphine, and I'm very pleased to be with you today with Christophe, our consultant at Combodo, to talk about the CTI extension and to show you how to integrate iTop with a CTI system. Axel Bost, the manager of our integration department at Combodo, we'll be pleased to answer your questions as well. Hello, Christophe. Hello, Axel. Hi. Today we are here to talk about iTop and the CTI system and to show you how to integrate it. So what we'll cover this webinar? First of all, we are going to give you a definition because we want to make sure that everybody is on the same page. Then we are going to explain you what it is for, so why you need to integrate a CTI and what are the benefits of doing it with iTop, and for whom it is. Then we are going to talk especially about the CTI extension that Christophe and the integration department developed and explain about its features. And to demonstrate that, we are going to do a demo, show you how it works. At the end of this webinar, we are going to talk about the availability of this extension and give you some elements of perspectives. Of course, we keep 15 minutes at the end to let you ask your questions and answer. So let's start the definition of the computer telephony integration. Actually, computer telephony integration is more a concept. It's a kind of standard and a common name to explain that phones and computer can be integrated and have interaction between each other to make sure that you are going to coordinate codes and the computer system. Okay, so that's what we are going to see here when we integrate iTop with a CTI system. So why do we do that? So we do that in order to improve the comfort and the efficiency of the teams, especially for service centers and support teams. How do we do that? By globalizing the working environment, which means that we are going to make sure that, for example, you are not going to try to hang on several phones, or when you have a caller over the phones, you're not searching for multiple applications or trying to find between different dashboards to have all the information. So we want to improve the daily life of, for example, the help desk agents, the support engineers, because they have to answer calls and deal with tickets, with requests, or with issues. But it can also be very interesting for administrative agents. For example, you are in an administration, you have to fill in a form, you are over the phone with someone. Or, for example, if we talk about a firemen will receive urgent calls. They don't have time to search for the information. They need to be very efficient. So that's the goal of the integration of a CTI system and an ITSM system such as iTop. We are going to see now in details what is the scope of the CTI extension that Combodo developed. And we are going to talk about two main features. The first one is visualization. We are going to make it easy to visualize information and also to take actions. How? We are going to display a dashboard with the callers information and the tickets information. It has a very interesting benefit, is that you are not going to duplicate any data, because as you have already all the data in your ITSM system, you don't need to write it down 2 times. If we talk about actions, of course, you are going to be able to take actions directly from the dashboard. You can create tickets indirectly from the dashboard or directly, and that's something that Christophe is going to talk about during the demonstration. Then You are going to be able to update tickets while talking to the caller. And finally, of course, we give you the ability from iTop ticket directly to call back your callers. And that's what we are going to see now, thanks to the demonstration that Christophe is going to do.
Thank you. Thank you, Delphine. Welcome to everyone. So what I wanted to tell you first to show you is the standard scenario of what we are covering here. So on the top left, your phone is ringing. Imagine that you are a support agent or guy working in front of your iTop, receiving a call from customers. You take the call, and based on an action that you do on your telephone system, either hanging on the phone or accepting the conversation, a page will open on your browser, and this page will display, as you can see on the right, a set of information based on what iTop contains within its database related to the person who called or the persons who called. We will see the different cases in terms of so information is related to the caller or the callers, and as a dashboard explains or give you in a quick view the summary that you may be interested to see for that person. We will see three cases. The first one will answer a phone call that correspond to a single person identified in iTop. So Delphine will call me, and my CTI will identify the caller, Delphine, and iTop will see that this person is related to a single person in iTop. Second case, Axel will call, and the number that she will use will correspond to a team phone number. So behind this phone number, we will see several persons, and we will, at that stage, see how the interface behaves. And finally, demonstrate a small gadget, which is similar to click to call feature, the one that you can activate yourself on your browser, which is a way to easily call back the caller of a ticket. So what you see here is iTop 3.0, as most of you know already, I guess. I am working with the overview window of the ticketing system with simple ticketing. I don't have, as you can see, incidents, so I have only user request type of tickets that can handle both incidents and user requests. I have installed a change management module, as well as problem management, several others like project management that is not by default. Anyway, I have my iTop, and I am working in this help desk overview system. I have my list of tickets in front of me, and I'm doing my daily job of an help desk agent working on different tickets. So at this stage, I am connected as well to a telephonic system called thru, and we have integrated it with iTop. So I will leave this panel here, and Delphine will call me, and we will see what happened. The phone is ringing. I can see that Delphine is calling. I just accept the call, and by doing so, my browser has opened a page listing the information that we see and that you see in front of you. So that's the control panel of the telephony integration extension. And we start with an information displaying contacts that correspond to the phone number 202. And in that list of contacts, I have only Delphine available. Delphine is identified with her first name, family name, organization, and city. We will see that this is fully configurable, and you can define the type of information that you will see. below the name of person that have been identified, we see 2 buttons that will allow you to create either a new user request or a new person. We will see as well that this section can be changed, can be configured with the other options. And below that first part of the screen, we have a list of tickets. First of all, the list of incidents that have been opened for this caller. She has obviously an issue with the marketing application. She has as well a SIM card, which is locked. Both tickets are assigned. She has some user requests that have been opened, as we can see. And at the bottom, I see that she has a beautiful PC, which appears in the list of CI that belong to this caller, so to her, Delphine. And as a support agent, I can have straight away an overview on Delphine assets or the main topic that she might be interested in within iTop, which are the tickets. So suppose that she's calling me for the SIM card that I am supposed to work on. I'm opening the ticket, and from there I'm just doing my job. I'm okay. She calls me saying that what are you doing? The SIM is not locked. I thought it was supposed to be done some time ago. Well, all the standard conversation that we can hear on help desk. So I may add a comment in the log in the top right of the screen. Okay, and when I may have to do some other actions, change the status of the ticket, whatever. Anyway, I'm doing my action, and as an agent, when I'm done, I apply it. By doing so, I have, as you can see here on the list of tabulation of the tickets, I have a new tab called phone calls. This is just a place where we record the different phone calls that have been placed related to these tickets. So here today, the 30th of June, an inbound call has been made by Delphine and has been processed by Jules Verne, the agent. This is related to the ticket 20. So by doing so, I mean, this little log will tell you that for a given ticket, well, already 5 calls has been placed. So maybe you can do some investigation. Why do we need so many calls with a customer to process a simple ticket like SIM card unlocking? No. So this is traced, and well, at least that give you hints, or to your people that are managing the service, hints to potentially detect issues with the service that we are providing. From there, I will straight away demonstrate the third point of what I wanted to show you. The agent has processed the ticket, the new phone call has been logged, and a few minutes later, the agent realized that he needs to talk again to Delphine. The ticket is still somewhere here open, and well, in order to call her, it does not need to look for a phone call. Just need to call. You see the little telephone icon on the top of the screen. Just click on it. That will connect to your CTI and open the dialing pad, and if you click, that will directly launch the call to the person. This is just to demonstrate the fact that with this simple click, you can open a call toward the person that is logged as the caller of the ticket. So second demonstration, second use case that we will see. At that time, Axel will call me with a phone number that corresponds to a team phone number. So same event as before. I receive a phone call. I accept the call. And I have, sorry, my web page with the information listed. So we see that the page is a similar page is displayed. That time with the number 499, I have identified several contacts So there is Axel, for which we have only 2 tickets. There is Eugène with only 1 ticket, and Pablo Picasso as well, only 1 ticket. So if I display the screen for all of them, I can see all the tickets that correspond to these guys. Same thing as before, we can talk about a given ticket, I select it, I update it, but if she's calling, or if the person, Axel for instance, is calling for a new topic, I can create for her a new incident if I had the possibility of a new user request, in which case I just click on this button. The user request creation form is displaying some information pre-filled, like the organization, the name of the caller, etc., and a small note in the log saying that the call has been made for this person. When we do so, we do a new ticket. A phone call has been recorded for the new ticket, allowing me to track the information that the flow of phone call that we received for this ticket. So basically, I'm done with this part of the demo. We have seen the case where a person is calling with a single phone number, the case where a phone number is ringing with multiple persons behind in iTop, and we saw as well the possibility of a callback. So the dashboard that we see here can be fully configured through the standard configuration file in iTop. That's what I will show you now. Here, you have recognized the style of the configuration parameters. So we are in the Combodo Telephony Integration part. And the first section that I'm able to configure is what we call the URL parameters. This is exactly what you see at the top of the page here. We see that in the URL I have some parameters. We can change these parameters, but we need to tell the extension what the extension is supposed to expect at this location. So here we have a phone and a number. So in the configuration, we just said that the first attribute will be called phone, and it will correspond in iTop to the phone attribute of a person. It may happen that maybe the CTI cannot be configured with any kind of attribute, and it will tell you that it's working with telephone. So I'll just say telephone, and it's corresponding to phone. So that's in order to have some flexibility in the way you configure your CTI and which parameters you allow in iTop. Next part, we will control the information that is displayed related to the caller. So this is precisely this part here. So we have different person with some information, and the information that you see here is driven by this block of configuration. The label, which can be localized, allow you to precise the title of the blocks: contact with phone number XXX, contact with phone number XXX. You specify the OQL that allows you to retrieve the person or the persons in iTop, and you decide the way you want to display the name of this person. So here I have asked iTop to display the friendly name, the organization name, and the location name, as we can see here. Next is the direct creation, something that I have not demonstrated at this stage. This is for maybe specific organizations where every time a phone call is received by an agent, a new ticket needs to be created. So this is driven by the direct creation section. We can define in here different classes of tickets to open at the reception of the phone call. Only one will be taken at the time, of course, unless all of them are, like here, set in the disabled mode, in which case we will skip that part. But this is to allow you to directly open user creation or user request creation forms without having to do any manual manipulation on your screen. Indirect creation, this is the part that controls the display of the two creation buttons here. We have, in that example, decided to allow the direct or the creation of user requests and persons. So just tell it here. I have set these two menus. They are enabled by default. And for each of the creation form, we have defined some predefined attributes that could be filled in the creation form. When I pressing the create a new user request button, the organization ID, the caller ID, the origin, and the public log will be automatically preset with information listed here. And finally, the last part of the dashboard is the lists, plural, that you have seen. These are displayed or defined as well by OQL. Well, you know that OQL is what we like a lot in iTop. So for each of the set of tickets or elements that we have in this page, each of the set is defined by an element of an array with a label, incident, like incidents open for this caller, or user requests open for this caller, and a query that defines the list of elements that need to be added to this list. As you have seen before, we have had the incidents, the user requests, change are configured but not enabled. User requests for the organization of the caller, they are defined but not enabled, and the CIs of that person. So these CIs don't appear here because nothing appears for the list of contacts in this list. But if I go back to the phone number which has been used by Delphine, 202, I replace it in the URL. You can see at the bottom of my page that now I have this beautiful PC that is appearing here. So all this is driven by this configuration file. Finally, the last section is the equal parameters section, as we call it. And this is just to specify what URL you want to use when we click on the small phone of a ticket. You have seen that when I clicked on it here, this opened the page that corresponds to my telephony system 3CX, in this case. So you specify that in this section together with the list of parameters that you want to put the phone with the phone number of the person. Everything is clearly specified in the documentation that you will find on the hub or on the iTop customer portal for the person like the one that are customers of Combodo. And everything that I have discussed here is clearly specified. So I think this is it for the demo. We have seen the different configuration options as listed here on the slide. So what's next? And what do you need to keep in mind? First of all, the extension that we have seen here is only compatible with iTop 3.x. It's not compatible with a 2.7 iTop. Whether you are working with a community version or a professional, I mean a product supported by Combodo, as long as it's 3.something extension is working. Then, in terms of features that we don't have, you need to keep in mind that this extension is extension for iTop. It's not this extension that will drive your CTI. So if you want to bring some intelligence to your CTI by using iTop to decide whether you need to route a call to that team or that other team, and within the final team, this person or that person, I guess you can do it. You can do it by using the standard REST API of iTop. But this would need, to do that, you will need to develop your own CTI extension and plug it somewhere on your CTI. This is not iTop's world. What could be done, but what we have not done, is to retrieve, that's the other way around, retrieve information from your CTI to display it within iTop. We could imagine that on a dashboard where we have the list of persons that make the help desk team, we could have the status of these persons regarding the phone system, whether they are online, busy, away from the office or whatever, not connected to the phone system. So the idea here is to read information within the CTI and display it in iTop. So that's more something that iTop can do, for sure. It's not information that would be pushed by the CTI, but we have not worked on that direction yet. That would be for such features, specific development, specific to the CTI that you are using. And since I'm talking about CTI, as you have seen, we are using it without any problem with the phone system that we have in our company, thru. But as long as you can configure your CTI to open a given URL when an event occurs, like phone ringing, you should be able to use this extension without any problem. So I think at this stage I'm done.
Thank you very much, Christophe. Very nice demonstration. Thank you, Christophe. Thank you, Axel. Thank you, Christophe, for this webinar. I hope everybody enjoyed it. Bye.
Thank you.